Hey everyone, and welcome. Okay, let's be honest. Who doesn't love a good deal? You know, that personalized discount or that loyalty program that just seems to get you. But have you ever really stopped to think about the real price we're paying for all those rewards? In this explainer, we are pulling back the curtain on the huge data engine that isn't just offering you a discount, it's actually designed to shape your behavior.
I mean, you've definitely seen a notification just like this, right? It pops up on your phone and it feels helpful, maybe even a little bit magical. But it begs a pretty big question. How did your phone know you were right there near the coffee shop? And how did it know your usual order? That's exactly what we're going to break down.
All right, let's get into it. This personalized magic? It's not magic at all. Nope. It's powered by a location-based technology that's pretty much always running quietly in the background on your phone. It's called geofencing.
So think of a geofence as like an invisible, digital tripwire for your phone. The second your smartphone crosses this virtual line, and you have location services on, of course, it triggers an action. You know, like sending you that perfectly timed coffee coupon. But that's really just the first domino to fall.
Here's a super clear example from the marketing folks over at SEMrush. So a local business draws this digital circle around their store. The moment you and your phone step inside that circle, bam, you're flagged as a potential customer. And all of a sudden, you start seeing ads for that coffee shop everywhere. It's simple, it's incredibly effective, and it is happening all around us all the time. But this is just the trigger. What happens next? That's where it gets really interesting.
See, geofencing isn't just one single thing. It's a whole stack of technologies working together. It all starts with the sensors in your phone. Then, when you're inside the store, things like their Wi-Fi and these little Bluetooth beacons can pinpoint your location right down to the specific aisle you're in. And all of that data, it gets beamed up to the cloud, where it's matched to a super detailed profile of you.
And that brings us to the next crucial piece of the puzzle. What on earth do they do with all that data? Well, it's used to build a profile of you, a kind of digital double that companies use to predict what you'll do, what you earn, and what you're most likely to buy next.
But here's the wild part. These profiles can be completely spectacularly wrong. A Consumer Reports investigation looked into the grocery chain Kroger and found a profile for a customer named Hazim Salam. It got his gender wrong, his education wrong, and his income totally wrong. And yet, that faulty, inaccurate data is still being used to decide what discounts he sees.
And make no mistake, grocery chains like Kroger are massive players in this game. I mean, their loyalty programs cover over 60 million households, and they track way more than just what's in your shopping cart. They're logging your movements inside the store, what coupons you use, and then they use all that to guess things about your life, and then they share that data with dozens of other companies.
So this is the really crucial point. We need to understand the real transaction that's taking place here. You get a little discount, but what does the company get? It's an exchange, all right? But it is a deeply, fundamentally unbalanced one.
And this just lays it out so clearly. For the price of, say, $1 off your groceries, a company gets an enormous amount of behavioral intelligence. They're not just learning what you buy, they're learning how to influence what you're going to buy next. They get long-term strategic power, and you get a temporary discount. It's your behavior leveraged in exchange for a coupon.
And this all leads to a practice that some people are starting to call surveillance pricing. That special personalized offer you just got, it might not be the best deal they have. Instead, it's often the highest price the company's algorithm thinks that you, specifically, will be willing to pay. It's not really a discount, it's more like a personalized price steering.
Okay, so this brings us to a really tricky gray area. You're probably thinking, well, I agreed to all of this when I signed up for the app or the loyalty card. But the real question is, was your consent actually informed? Is the choice you made even a real one?
You know, research from the University of Bath shows a pretty staggering lack of understanding. When an app asks to track you, a whopping 43% of users are confused about what that even means. And another quarter of people think it's just about their physical GPS location, not about tracking their activity across every single app and website they use.
And companies are really good at using this vague, friendly language that makes tracking sound like a benefit, or even something that's necessary for the app to work at all. Phrases like, a more personalized experience are great at hiding the fact that you're actually agreeing to be constantly monitored for targeted ads and behavioral analysis.
And get this, sometimes companies collect the data even when you've explicitly said no. In September of 2023, a federal jury ordered Google to pay this much, $425 million in a class action lawsuit because they were collecting user data even after people had turned the web and app activity setting off.
So after peeling back all these different layers of technology and data and psychology, we land right at the heart of this whole system. We're getting convenience, sure, but what are we actually trading away to get it?
This chart pretty much says it all, doesn't it? The corporation's gain, the intelligence, the leverage, the profit is enormous. The consumer's gain is small and it's immediate. But the consumer's cost, the loss of privacy, the loss of autonomy in our choices, and the hit to long-term fairness, that is high and it's long-lasting. The scales are just tipped so heavily in one direction.
And that leaves us with this final question. These systems are always presented to us as benefits and rewards. But if that benefit is built on a mountain of your personal data, and you were never clearly told the full price of the transaction, is that exchange really fair? It's definitely something to think about the next time that perfect offer pops up on your screen.